Your phone ringing. Ring, ring.
Hi, it's Christina.
Hi, Christina. This is John from Zillow. I have Elias on the line. He'd like to see 123 Main Street in Oakland. Can I connect you?
Yes, please.
Okay, here you go. Ding.
Hello.
Hi, Elias. This is Christina. I'm a Zillow Premier Agent. I am with eXp Realty and Team Fast. How can I help you today?
Hi. I was calling because I wanted to see a house in Oakland.
Yes, actually, I got the message. It's 123 Main Street, and I'd be happy to contact the seller and see how we can get ourselves an appointment. What's your schedule look like today?
I'm actually open this afternoon after 4 o'clock.
Lovely. I can also accommodate that. So why don't I do this? I will contact the seller. I will see if that works for them. I will follow up with a text and an email and confirm the appointment with you. Okay. And at the end of the day, I just want to make sure I've satisfied your needs and I've answered some minimal questions at this point. And we could follow up after I reach out to the seller. How does that sound?
I'm good. I just had a couple questions, Christina. So I have a friend that's been looking at houses in Oakland, and they say it's super, super competitive. Do you think this house will be a very competitive home?
Good question. I think that those are the things we can discuss once we get together. So why don't you let me gather some information, and when we meet, we can discuss this in further detail at 4 o'clock, if that works for everybody.
Yeah, that does. And then do I need to bring a pre-approval or anything? Do I need to bring anything?
No, you don't need to bring anything other than yourself and a motivated buying attitude that I can certainly help you. Hey, let me ask you, I want to make sure I've exceeded all your expectations for this appointment setting. Would you mind sharing that with Zillow and sharing the 5-star review at the end of it? I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah, sure.
Great. Well, I look forward to getting back to you via email and text, and we can connect at 4 p.m. at the property.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, we'll cut there. All right, Christina, good stuff. I know that this environment, it's a little nerve-wracking, but I think that one thing about you, and that it's a huge compliment, it's that no matter when people interact with you, they can get a sense of your energy and your excitement about this business. The number one question that you ask is, how can I help you? You already know that how you can help them, right?
I know.
So it's leading into what their instant gratification, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, John, I understand that you're calling in about seeing 123 Main Street. Did you want to see that property today, or do you want to see it tomorrow? What works best for you? So I like that.
I knocked myself when I asked you that. I was like, shit, I knew what they wanted.
One other thing that I want you to remember, that this is not an appointment for them to go see one property. This is an experience with Christina, right? So I got you. While you're here, I want you to carve out about an hour afterwards. That way we can see some similar properties in that area that fit your criteria, right? So
okay.
This is an experience that they're coming out to see multiple homes with you that fit that criteria. You asked for a survey middle of the road, because then you went back and said some other things, and then you came back to the survey on the end. As you said, satisfy your needs middle of the presentation before you stop. And then you talked about getting together, you can follow up with them, which I think sounded really great. But then you asked for the review again at the end. So I think like you inputted it twice, but overall, I know this environment's a little nerve-wracking. I think that you did really good and setting the tone for what's next. I didn't feel like I was unclear about the steps. Let's go over to John.
Yeah, that was solid. I mean, obviously
real quick. So Elias, so as I was going through the steps of what the Zillow Flex, like, you know, status of how you said it, like, it seemed like it really just wanted to get the appointment. So would I still at that point, or would the second conversation I go into further detail about asking other properties?
So you can just say it on the first call. And by
okay.
I have you here. You know what? I have you out here. I want you guys to carve out about an extra hour so we can go see some other homes in the area.
Okay. Okay.
And then you can obviously dive in deeper on the second call, and you can dive in deeper on the survey as well on the second call.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, John, hit it.
Yeah, and these calls are a little tricky because obviously you're trying to like demonstrate like your range of skill and being able to like handle these. But honestly, if a Zillow call was like, hey, I see here you want to see 123 Main Street in Oakland. Like, when's a good time for you? Tomorrow at 4. Cool. Let me check with the seller on availability, and I'll get right back to you in the next 30 minutes. And that could be the first call. But in these like audition calls, we're trying to like do, you know, hit a couple different topics and ask questions and all that, where some of it in real life might be handled on a follow-up call. So realistically, like you don't need to cram all this in. Like if you approach it like 90% of the first call should be about setting the appointment, and Zillow, you know, 3 to 4 minutes kind of max, then if you just keep that in mind, that your goal of the call is to get the appointment, that'll really just kind of set the stage for what you need to say, and then you can follow up with everything. And then as far as the survey, what we really want to get away from is like kind of asking for it. We want to just work on a script for some kind of statement that basically implies like, you know, it's important that I give you good service, and I hope that is reflected on the survey, because that way when they get the survey, you know, they'll know it's the same thing as asking for it, because you've implied that it's important, but you don't want to ask for it. You want to just state like, you know, just a heads up, Zillow is going to be sending you a customer satisfaction survey, and my goal is to exceed all your expectations, and I hope I've done that so far. Something like that. But and then as far as handling the question about if it was going to sell, like you did a great job just kind of validating, like, good question, and then punting it for down the road. You don't want to get too far in the weeds with that stuff, so good job there. But overall, I mean, it was solid. Like Elias said, it's like an adjustment for everybody because it's not necessarily natural. But I think the main thing with you is just when you, on these calls, you can take a more like assumptive tone and really kind of direct the call, like rather than, and you knew right when you did it, but like rather than asking them how they can help you, like, you know exactly how you can help them. And rather than asking them like, you know, why don't I do this? You can tell them, so what I'm going to do, or so what's going to happen next is I'm going to call you back and this. So you can kind of, with these, really take control more and assume that, you know, you're there to provide a service, and you don't necessarily need to like qualify yourself or validate what you're going to do because it's what they're expecting.